Hello, and welcome to Zroxt. In our last video, we listed 15 lesser-known English-language serial killer movies. Today, let's further expand our horizons to know about foreign-language serial killer movies that you need to watch. You would be forgiven for mistaking Guillaume Canet for Patrick Dempsey in this 2014 French crime drama that is based on the true story of Alain Lamar. Lamar, a paramilitary police officer in the 1970s, leads a double life as a serial killer. While investigating his own crimes, Lamar's facade of normalcy unravels as he struggles with his dark impulses and the pressures of his job, creating a tense and thrilling movie. In this 2009 Thai movie, Thai, a former hitman, is released from prison to help catch a gruesome serial killer who is targeting influential figures. As Thai delves deeper into the case, he uncovers disturbing connections to his own past, leading to a shocking and intense climax. It is difficult to place Slice into a single genre as it oscillates between thriller, horror, drama, romance, and action. But one thing's for certain, Slice is an entertaining film that is filled with colorful imagery and gore. Amsterdamned is a 1988 Dutch movie in which Detective Eric Visser hunts a serial killer who uses Amsterdam's canals to stalk and murder victims. The movie is somewhere between a slasher horror and suspenseful mystery with a surprising amount of humor. It is helmed by a charismatic protagonist and features a stunning boat chase scene. El Angel is a 2018 Argentine crime drama based on the true story of the serial killer Carlos Robledo Puch. Carlos, nicknamed the Death Angel, was a charming and remorseless teenage killer in the 1970s. In the movie, he embarks on a spree of thefts before descending towards more violent crimes like murders. The film explores his unsettling blend of innocence and brutality while capturing the chilling allure of his criminal life. Imagine claiming responsibility for multiple murders after the statute of limitations of those crimes expires, making it impossible for the law to punish the killer. This is exactly the premise of this 2012 South Korean thriller, in which a man publishes a book claiming responsibility for a series of unsolved murders. As the media frenzy around him escalates, the lead detective on the original case becomes obsessed with uncovering the truth in a hope to bring justice to the victims in this gripping thriller. Cold Fish is a Japanese film that is loosely inspired by true events. The movie follows Shimoto, a meek tropical fish shop owner, as he becomes entangled with the charismatic fellow fish dealer Murata who has murderous secrets of his own. As Shimoto is drawn deeper into Murata's world of crime and violence, he undergoes a dark transformation himself. This leads to shocking and brutal consequences in this stylish thriller that is full of dark humor, psychological horror, and unexpected violent surprises. In Man Bites Dog, a 1992 Belgian black comedy and mockumentary, a documentary crew records the daily life of Ben, a charismatic and articulate serial killer. As the crew becomes increasingly involved in Ben's violent exploits, their objectivity wanes, blurring the line between observer and accomplice. The movie also acts as a satirical commentary on the violence and voyeurism depicted in modern-day media.
Tu vois, il y a un barème quand tu le laisses d'un corps, c'est-à-dire tu fais 3 fois son poids, normalement un homme moyen, comme cette victime-ci, c'est 3 fois son poids. Une vieille dame, par exemple, ou un vieil homme, 5 fois le poids. Les os sont poreux déjà.
Antibodies is a 2005 German psychological thriller which centers on Michael Martens, rural police officer who interrogates a captured serial killer Gabriel Engel. Michael believes that Gabriel is connected to an unsolved murder in his village. But as Michael delves deeper into Gabriel's twisted mind, he is forced to confront his own dark impulses and hidden fears. This movie is often described as the German Silence of the Lambs, and would appeal to the fans of Jonathan Demme's film. Produced by filmmakers like Alfonso Cuarón and Guillermo del Toro, Cronicas is a 2004 Ecuadorian thriller starring John Leguizamo and Alfred Molina. The film follows Manolo Bonilla, a tabloid journalist played by Leguizamo, who is covering a series of brutal child murders in a small Ecuadorian town. When he encounters Vinicio Cepeda, a local man who claims to have information about the killer, Bonilla is faced with the moral and ethical dilemma between choosing to seek justice or indulging in sensationalism.
¿Tú conocías a alguno de los niños que encontraron?
Mi hermano gemelo.
Me vas a ver por tu hermanito.
¿Y de qué le sirve a mi hermanito si él ya está muerto?
Who will win when an older serial killer suffering from Alzheimer's disease takes on a younger serial killer who is dating the former's daughter? That is the clever premise of this wonderful cat and mouse film that will keep you guessing until the end. Memoir of a Murderer is based on the best-selling novel by Kim Young-ha. Usually it's the cops who become obsessed with criminals, but in this 2016 psychological thriller, it's the crazy serial killer who becomes obsessed with a drug addict, misogynist cop. The former believes that the latter is just like him. As the story progresses, the film delves into the dark and twisted psyches of both the men, blurring the lines between hunter and hunted. A decade before he became globally famous through Game of Thrones, Nikolai Coster-Waldau starred in this 1994 Danish horror as Martin, a law student who takes a job as a night watchman at a morgue. As a series of gruesome murders terrorize the city, for which Martin becomes a prime suspect, he is forced to navigate his eerie workplace and prove his innocence. The film had an English remake starring Evan McGregor. Cure is a 1997 Japanese psychological horror that follows Detective Kenichi Takabe as he investigates a series of inexplicable murders where the killers have no memory of committing those crimes. The investigation leads him to a mysterious drifter named Mamiya, who seems to possess an uncanny ability to manipulate people into committing murder. As Takabe investigates further, he confronts the unsettling power of hypnotism and his own psychological limits. Cure is a masterpiece in disturbing and creepy storytelling that will leave you shaking at the edge of your seat. The Silence is a 2010 German crime thriller which centers on the investigation of a young girl's murder, which mirrors a similar unsolved case from 23 years earlier. As the detectives reopen the old case and delve into the new one, they uncover a web of secrets that affect the lives of everyone involved. This moody film will stay with you long after it's over, leaving you feeling uncomfortable. The Silence is directed by Baron Bo Odar, who would go on to create the globally popular series Dark.
Sie hieß Pia und fällt da vergewaltigt und getötet.
8. Juli. Heute ist der 8.
Holy Spider is a 2022 Persian-language crime thriller based on the true story of a serial killer known as the Spider Killer. This serial killer murdered 16 prostitutes from 2000 to 2001 in Iran. The film follows a journalist who investigates the case, while facing resistance from a society that is reluctant to confront the brutal reality of the murders because of the victims involved. The movie highlights themes of morality, justice, and casts a light on the societal hypocrisy.
مراقبم که در کار خود برسیم خب؟ نه باید برو
بیا دیگه
باید که برو نخواستم بابا
A disgraced former detective turned pimp becomes suspicious when several of his prostitutes go missing in this 2008 South Korean thriller named The Chaser. Realizing they were all last seen with the same client, our hero is left with a frantic hunt to find the women and stop the elusive serial killer. This roller coaster of a movie is filled with gripping tension.
전 맞아요? 신분증 좀 보여줘요.
야, 미치겠네.
경찰 아니지? 너 꺼져.
When the fiancé of a highly trained secret agent is brutally murdered by a serial killer, that agent decides to extract a unique kind of revenge. He captures and tortures the serial killer repeatedly, allowing him to escape each time to prolong his suffering. This cycle of violence intensifies into a demented game of cat and mouse. Starring Lee Byung-hun and Old Boy's Choi Min-sik, I Saw the Devil remains one of the best revenge movies out there. If you are a fan of the first season of HBO's True Detective, you will definitely enjoy this movie. Set in the 1980s post-Franco-era Spain, La Isla Minima, aka the Marshlands, follows two detectives who are sent to a remote town in Spain to investigate the disappearance of two teenage girls. As they delve into the case, they discover a series of other murders and a web of dark secrets hidden in the community. The investigation also tests the partnership of the two ideologically different detectives in this beautifully shot movie. While on a vacation, Rex's girlfriend Saskia disappears outside a busy service station. Years later, Rex is approached by Raymond, a seemingly ordinary man who claims responsibility for her disappearance. Obsessed with uncovering the truth, Rex agrees to meet Raymond, leading to a chilling and shocking conclusion. The Vanishing shows the depths to which human evil can dive to. This movie had a 1993 Hollywood remake. It's almost 100 years old, but the 1931 German crime thriller, M, remains a film far ahead of its time. This movie follows the manhunt of a serial killer of children in Berlin. As the police struggle to catch the serial killer, the city's criminal underworld decides to join the manhunt, fearing that increased police presence will threaten their operations. This only creates further chaos, providing an edge to the killer in this classic.
Ich sage den Herrschaft meinen herzlichsten Dank.
Dankeschön.
Based on true events, Memories of Murder is a 2003 South Korean crime drama that follows detectives in their investigations of a series of murders of women in a rural town during the 1980s. As the investigation drags on without much resolution, the desperate detectives resort to unorthodox and brutal methods, which sometimes cross the boundaries of ethics. Directed by Bong Joon-ho, who went on to win Oscar for his other movie Parasite, Memories of Murder remains one of the best serial killer movies out there and a must-watch for every movie fan. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please like and subscribe.